Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Zay, and if you're new here, I appreciate you for tuning in. Hopefully, we can get into a nice discussion where you will hopefully find resonance, relatability, and perhaps healing and inspiration. So thank you so much for being here, and let's get started with this video. Today I kind of just wanted to make a reflection video about just the mistakes that I've made in friendship over the years. No one's perfect, we're all human, and people show up in friendship. The way people show up in friendship is reflective of either things that they never addressed inwardly, or things that were or were not instilled in them as a child. So I just want to talk about some of the mistakes that I made in friendship, and hopefully we can all just learn from it and just be better to our loved ones. My first mistake in friendship was writing narratives about people or situations without gathering all the facts first, without gathering all the information and then making an informed decision. No. Instead, I would respond to what I assumed the other person was thinking and feeling and behave that way, as opposed to, laying everything out on the table, gaining clarity and understanding through means of effective communication. I really underestimated the power of communication. There have been times where I was feeling something towards somebody and they had no idea that I was feeling this towards them. So they come to me like, "Hey Zay, how you doing?" And trying to be my friend. And I had this silent animosity towards them for, I don't know, missing my birthday dinner and choosing to go do something else that same night. And instead of asking them, "Hey, I was really looking forward to having you at my birthday dinner. Why didn't you come?" The answer could have been, "Well, I have a family member who needs me," or I made a promise to somebody else. Just an explanation would have been nice, but in order for an explanation to occur, I would have had to ask a question before getting in my feelings. You know what I'm saying? Just that process of knowing everything, finding the answer to your questions by actually asking them, seeking answers instead of going off of what you think that could have saved about 2 or 3 of the friendships that I've had in my life if I would have just been more mindful about the power of communication. The second mistake that I made in friendship was that I would minimize people's feelings in moments of confrontation or disagreement. Instead of someone could tell me that I did something to offend them, and then I would jump straight into a sentiment about myself and how it wasn't my intention, and I would never do that. I didn't mean it like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think it was that serious. I was just da 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 da. And while it's natural to want to defend your character and your morality in moments where you feel like it's being attacked, it's not an attack. It's someone loves you, someone who cares about you is letting you know that, hey, you did this thing to hurt my feelings, and I want you to understand how that's impacted me. This is not the time for you to go into a spiel about how you didn't mean it and you're a good person and you weren't trying to be malicious, and jumping to defend my intentions instead of massaging the areas where I impacted that person and trying to mend that caused a lot of disconnect with me and a couple of folks. And so yeah, I would just like to work on that. I would encourage anybody else who also struggles with that problem or do better. We got to do better. So yeah, I just kind of I've learned that if someone, you know, is bringing something to your attention as far as like how you made them feel, apologize, acknowledge the way that you made them feel, like don't make excuses, and just try your best not to do that shit again, you know? Like, be mindful, be considerate. When people fuck up, it's not that, you know, they fuck up because they wanted to or because they intended to. It's a certain mindlessness. It's a certain disregard that just isn't there. And that doesn't make you a bad person, but it can make someone who cares about you feel like you don't care about them. So yeah, just let's do better and be better friends to each other, okay? And then the third mistake that I made in friendship over the years was just giving way too much energy to people who were not showing up for me, who were betraying me, who were making me feel like shit, and who did disappoint me and let me down. And I would give those people so much of my energy. Like, I would like waste my anger, my resentment, my tears on these people. And the whole time there are people right in front of me who like genuinely and enthusiastically want to support me and love me and be there for me and show up for me without me having to beg them. Just giving the best parts of yourself to people who actually deserve it, instead of obsessing or hyper focusing on what people are not doing for you or who isn't there. Like, a big part of being grateful and being present is recognizing who is there and who is in your corner, and being grateful for them and showing up for them, and, you know, giving them all of your energy and your intentions and your efforts. So I really want to talk about like what actually happened as far as my recent friendship trauma, because I feel like as long as I keep talking around this subject, it's gonna cause confusion for anybody who's listening to like my stories about healing from this. So I'm gonna just dive into what actually happened and what made me be like, wow, my friends fucking hate me. As I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the video, I don't want to continue presumptively responding to what I think I know about people or what I think people are thinking and feeling. But I am going to speak about how people's actions made me feel and impacted me. Like, that's the only thing I can't speak on, right? I can't speak on why people did certain things. I can't speak on the reasons behind or the intentions behind whatever. I can't speak on those things. The only thing I can talk about is how I was made to feel in these interactions and in these spaces and places. So let's get into it. It all started in, I want to say July of 2022, when I was displaced from my hometown. I had lost my apartment. I was rooming with a really, really close friend, actually. And me and her, we never had any problems. Me and the friend that I was roommates with in my hometown, that we never had any problems. We kind of just went our separate ways due to circumstances, right? But I was displaced because we lost our apartment, and I had to move to Georgia. Georgia was where I had other family, and I was able to have a home base to start building, where I was able to establish a home base to start building my life back up again. So I had to come to Georgia, and as soon as I got here, I just felt like an overwhelmingly strong sense of loneliness. Like, wow, I'm in a new state where I don't know anybody. Like, I had never lived outside of my home state before. So it felt like really isolating and alienating. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I cried as soon as I got here because I just felt that overwhelming, like, looming sense of like, bitch, you don't really have nobody. I mean, you have your family, but as far as like people who actually know you and like some like people that you can be a little bit more yourself around. There's no one physically around like that, because all of your friends are back home. So yeah, it was my first time ever living out the state, so I felt some type of way, you know what I'm saying? And nobody was like really present with me in that whole ordeal. Nobody was present with me for my 30th birthday. I wanted my friends around, and I knew that it wouldn't be particularly feasible for all of them to come to Georgia. So I went back home and made myself available for a brunch. And I wanted us all to dress up and to wear certain colors, and it just be like this like cute themed event celebrating my birthday. Because I feel like I showed up for a lot of people just that year prior, you know what I'm saying? I spent money on my friend's carnival themed birthday. I spent like $100 getting my outfit together for that. And then I drove from Georgia back home 5 hours to go attend the birthday, you know what I'm saying? Prior that year, I had spent a lot of time and effort and money into throwing my friend a paint and sip for her birthday. And it was really sexy. It was a sexy little lingerie paint and sip party, and it was real cute. And I was really happy to show up for my friends in that way, because y'all my girls. I would go out of my way to organize brunches for us to all commune and fellowship and be together. And you know, I would organize that shit. And so I was just really excited about my birthday, because I was like, okay, now we can celebrate me for the first time in a long time. And when the day came for everybody to gather for brunch, y'all, I kid you not, nobody was in place. It's like they forgot about the brunch, or they just didn't have it on their calendar or on their list of priorities. Motherfuckers was not dressed. Motherfuckers was not, was barely awake. Motherfuckers was on their way to go do something with somebody else when it was time for the brunch to start. Like, nobody, not even, I'm not gonna say nobody, because 2 of my dear friends did show up that day, and we had a wonderful time together, and I felt really loved and appreciated by them. So I really appreciate y'all. Y'all know who y'all are. But the other 2 friends were completely MIA, and that shit really hurt my feelings. Like, just to say the least. That shit really hurt my fucking feelings. And it really made me think about the previous, earlier in that year, I had threw an event, right? And I'm an artist, so I like to throw paint and sips from time to time. And so I threw an event, and I was really excited about this event. I made sure that I told my friends about it in advance so that they could get tickets and attend. You know what I mean? Like, this was something that I had never done before. This is actually my first time throwing an event around my art. And I was really excited about it, and I was like urging them, like, yo, y'all make sure y'all get y'all tickets, make sure y'all come. I was telling them about this event literally like a month and a half before. And they are like replying like, yeah, girl, we'll come. We gonna be there, whatever, yeah, girl. I kid you not, yet again, I call them on the day of the event, because it had started, you know, the festivities had begun, and they were out like doing something with some other friend that they had, like some other mutual friend that they both had. And it was just like, oh, nah, girl, we're not gonna make it, sorry. Like, it was just so inconsiderate. So that memory was triggered. And at that moment, I was just like, or at that time, I just came to the conclusion that, you know what? These are not my people. Because these people are not reciprocating the same energy, effort, or intentions that I go out of my way to give them. And as a result of that, I definitely distanced myself and just kind of like, I called myself cutting them off, right? But it was like a soft cutoff. Like, I'm still going to respond to messages and I'm not going to ignore you, but I'm not going to be all enthusiastic, and I'm definitely not going to be initiating contact. And just, it was just like a resistance that I was giving. And I could have either just been more direct, or I could have just taken all of my energy back, called all of my energy back to me, and like gave it to people who deserved it, who actually fucking deserved it. I just started to feel like the token friend. Like, yeah, she's fun to have around, but I'm not actually gonna like go out of my way to show up for her. Why the fuck would I do that? She'll be all right, you know, she'll be all right. And so, yeah, when it really hurts when you place somebody at a certain level or a certain stature in your life and they have put you down here. Like, you're not even they have so many other people on top of you that like it's not the same. That was really traumatizing for me. Ever since then, like literally ever since September 2022 up until like, I want to say this past September 2024, I had been clinging to the past in sadness and confusion and holding on to resentment and anger and grudges. And this was all in the name of cutting people off, right? Like, I was supposed to have cut these people off, but I really only made myself physically, mentally, and emotionally sick in the process, because I had released the concept of these people, and I had went no contact pretty much, but I still was holding on to the hurt and disappointment. Like, I was still holding on to it and clinging to it and kind of like internalizing it, and it was fucking with my sense of self. I just started battling with like, who am I when I'm with these people that don't really give a fuck about me? I'm thinking that some of the best parts of me are coming out, or some like really like fun and exciting and like cool parts of me are really coming out around these people. And now that I have chosen to separate myself from these people out of self-love, who am I? Who am I without these people in my life? I say all this to say that like the main thing that I've learned is that you can't just cut people off and think that you're going to be able to go on pretending like everything's okay and that you're unbothered by how they impacted you, right? That's not how cutting people off works. It's actually a lot of work to release all of the built up or the stored disappointment, like that disappointment and the resentment, the grudges, the negative projections, like all of that has to be healed. It's not just oh yeah, snip, snip, everything's fixed. Like, no, like it's actually a healing process, and it took so much longer than I thought it was gonna take because I really cared about these people, right? But it needed, like, the healing process had to happen because I love myself more than anything or anyone. You really do have to like kind of reprogram your mind and release false beliefs about who you are as it pertains to this dynamic that you have with other people. Even though you're the one who cut them off, the separation is still painful, and it's still weird because like, yeah, you don't like you're having to kind of reconstruct who you are. Like, I was this person when I had this group of friends, and they brought out these aspects of me, but I don't have these people no more. So yeah, who am I? I feel like I've passed through so many different moods. Like, over the years, so much shit has happened. Like, even if I was to try to reconnect with some people, it just wouldn't be the same. Like, I've passed through so many different moods and phases and rode various emotional waves and roller coasters, and I've made new brain developments, and I've, had countless inner discoveries. And this huge separation has shaped me into a completely different person. So, like, with my old group of friends, like I said, there were aspects of myself that were brought to the surface. There were also aspects of myself that stayed hidden around them. It's not always like, it's not always a safe space to be authentic, fully authentic around every single person that you're friends with. I feel like people bring things out of you, and then other aspects of you might stay a little bit hidden around this person. And so I accepted that this will probably be the case with a lot of people that I meet, as far as not being able to like show or be, how do I explain this? I understand that different people are going to relate and resonate with different aspects of myself, right? So there's never going to be that one person that's like, oh yeah, I get you on that level. I get you on all the levels, bitch. I understand you in and out. Like, I get it, and I fuck with it. I don't think anybody will ever appeal to all aspects of me at once, and that's mainly the reason why I resonate with polyamory, right? Because many aspects require many lovers. But anyways, as I discover more of what my authenticity looks and feels like and sounds like, I'm tapping into these hidden parts, the hidden parts of myself that didn't really come out when I was associated with those friends. And I feel like a strong need to just sit with them very intimately and get to know myself deeply. And this opportunity is golden, actually. So thank you. I feel like I'm like free to be my authentic self, which I'm not sure how that looks and feels around new friends, because I haven't really made any new friends. In fact, I feel like so much time has passed without me exposing my new self, because like I said, I've become a new person through all the experiences that I've dealt with on my own for the past 2 years. So I feel like so much time has passed without me exposing my new self to anyone. And so it kind of makes me feel like nobody knows me right now. Nobody knows who I am now. And I definitely don't think anybody from my past will be able to relate to me the way that they used to. However, I am open to the possibility that I could be wrong about that. What I do know is during this part of my journey, I am feeling called to just be with myself. And I say be with myself and not be alone, because I'm not alone. And I'm not lonely, certainly. But being with myself is more of an intimate statement. I'm being with myself. I'm not alone, I'm with myself. And that draws me closer, and it sounds more loving and warm than, oh, I'm just gonna be alone. Like, no, I'm actually with myself. I'm always like deeply connected to other beings, and ultimately I always have God. So I'm never alone. So that feels really good. And I'm just ready to step into wholeness and just take the steps to heal and find inner peace and happiness, regardless of who or who isn't in my life. But ultimately, I am so thankful for every soul and every being that I've ever connected with, because our connection, whether it, was karmic or on some soulmate shit, I feel like every connection that I've ever fostered has taught me a lesson and has helped me discover or learn something new about myself, or has made me a better person. And I'm really thankful for that. So as I talk about like not presumptively writing my own narratives about people, and not giving too much energy to people who don't deserve it, at the same, like, those are two different like issues, but they still mesh together in my realization that I will never assumptively react or retaliate against people for not showing up for me, either due to an unwillingness or an inability, just because we all have lives to live. And I personally will never be happy or satisfied if I continue to perceive relationships from this self-centered point of view. Again, presumptively writing my own narratives of people takes away that awareness that perhaps people have shit going on that has nothing to do with you, and that they're not trying to be malicious or hateful, or they're not trying to hurt your feelings, but just their lack of consideration has an impact on your emotions. And I think that that's valid. But I also know to meet people exactly where they meet me, no more, no less. Again, that goes back into divvying out my energy to people who actually deserve it, who I deem have deserved it, to people who make me feel honored and welcomed and loved and supported. You know, it's not about people's intentions. Again, I can't assume that people have certain intentions, right? But I also can't hang on to hope that one day you'll be able to show up for me the way that you want to, even though you don't actually make an effort to do that. I can't hang on to that. I can't really do nothing with that. So I'm not going to assume that you hate me or that you don't fuck with me like that, but I am going to retreat and I am going to call my energy back in so that I can distribute it appropriately. I'll never be happy. I'll never feel satisfied. I'll never feel like I have the love and community that I've always desired, as long as I'm making myself the center of everyone's universe. Like, if people can't show up for you the way that you would like them to, it is wise to kind of just inquire, like, what's going on, and maybe even offer some help. You know what I'm saying? People often keep secrets because they don't want to put the burden of their problems on others. And so it just looks like they don't give a fuck and that they're just, you know, off in their own corner doing their own thing, not really, you know, concerned about you. But really they have something really heavy going on and they don't even know how to talk about it. And so we just need to be more communicative so that we can get an understanding. I don't want to be that person that is always mad at somebody for what they did to me or what I feel like they did to me, even though they didn't do anything to me. You know, life happens. Sometimes the friend can't make the fucking birthday party because they got a flat tire, or they have to go help their grandma clean the basement because they've been promising grandma that they was gonna get that basement clean for weeks. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking in circles, so I'm about to land this plane. I also bring this whole shit back to my fourth and final point, which is put more energy into the people who are actually showing up for you the way you need, the way that you feel like you deserve to be shown up for as a friend. People who make you feel loved and supported, put your energy into them. You know what I'm saying? If someone just can't be there for you, you can still love them from afar. It doesn't have to be no animosity. It doesn't have to be no resentment or grudges. You could just love that person from a distance and know that they don't have a lot to give, so you don't have a lot to give. And that's okay. That's okay. It's okay. And sometimes friends need you to give more than what they can give. Because sometimes life gets hard. I feel like this whole year I have not been a good friend. Why? Because I've been mourning my brother this whole year. I've been in deep depression. I have been dissociating. I have had brain fog. I have had executive functioning issues. Like, I haven't been able to really, this hasn't been my most productive or prosperous year. I haven't been to my hometown in a year. So I've missed hella birthdays and celebrations and stuff like that, and milestones that people have actually invited me to, but I just haven't made that move to go, or I haven't been able to show up because I've been dealing with my own shit. And I would hate for somebody to like take that personally, like, Zainab doesn't give a fuck about me. Like, I care so deeply. I really do. But yeah, this video is all over the place. Hopefully I can edit it to where it makes sense and to where it is cohesive and correlates. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here though. So I appreciate you guys for watching, and I sell art. So if you'd like to check out some of my art, please click the link, the Etsy link, to visit my shop. And get you some art, support your girl. You can also follow me on Instagram. Obviously I want you to like and subscribe this video, but only if you want to. Only if you liked the video and you found resonance in it do I want your support. I only want to attract genuine shit, okay? This is a space of genuinity and resonance. So if you don't resonate, I do appreciate you for watching anyways. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace. Hey guys. Okay. Yo. Okay. Seriously, let me make myself miserable. Ooh, today I'm gonna talk about something. I'm just trying to get comfortable first. Cause talking in front of a camera is weird. I really like my hair. The locks are getting long, baby.